and his family was there. Oh my God, y'all! Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, run them numbers up, man. Look at this shit, man. We go look at this shit, and like I said, man, I said this years ago. I said, man, something like this was gonna end up happening, fam. I said one of these days, this was gonna end up happening. I told y'all, I said, quit going out in them streets antagonizing weird people at these liberal college events, man. I said this. I said, yeah, Charlie Kirk got good content, but he's a right wing lug nut. He go antagonize the other side with his content, and I was like, all right, we go see how long this is gonna go until some nutso come along and he playing God. Now he get to choose when he want to take a life or not. That shit crazy, man. Look, we go get into uh this video footage. Let me pull this up, family. This is very graphic, y'all. This is very graphic. Um, and we go get into what everybody else saying too. We go be on here for a while. Yeah, we go have to smoke. We go have to smoke one for Charlie. And like I said, he got good content. And the thing is, I never really personally cared for Charlie Kirk when it came to this extreme white right wing lug nut shit. I said, we okay, you got good content, but bro, you got to tone it down. You're not a street dude for real. The thing is, when you dealing with politics, you dealing with mafia style politics. Man, people will take your life, and it's red versus blue, blood versus crip. This shit crazy. This shit crazy, fam. We got this train stabbing that's going on. You got Charlie Kirk getting popped. Let's pull this up, fam. This is nasty work, right? This is what I call nasty work right here. Look who did it. Old man Clementine. Old man, and the thing is, this might be a mask. I told you, you never know who it's gonna be. I told you before, you don't know if it's Hezbollah or the damn KKK out this bitch. You're not gonna know. Charlie Charlie Kirk just got shot in front of his family, y'all. He just got shot in front of his family, y'all.
Counting gang violence. Great. Counting.
Come on, man. He put the scope right on him. And the thing is, we should have known this was possibly gonna happen due to the political climate out there. Like, okay, Charlie, do your podcast, take your ass back inside. You don't have to go out in public to get your point across. I don't know what all this is about. And I told y'all, I said after Trump get in office, y'all need to shut that shit down. Y'all need to calm the fuck down. He think he still gotta go headstrong. He don't see he didn't have to do all that. If he wanted to run for president, shit, cool. But he trying to make it out to be a damn campaign. Oh, we campaigning hard this summer. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. He campaigned all these years, man. And when you reach this level of Satanism, you end up getting shot. Politics is, man, you want to be honest with you, politics that dwells in Satanism. See, you ain't safe until you control the whole grid. Charlie Kirk don't control. no grid. He don't own a quantum computer. See, Trump was able to dodge that. Trump was able to dodge that bullet because he knew the knowledge of what they call the quantum computer. He dodged them bullets like the Matrix. He knew it was coming. He already seen it in the algorithm. Matter of fact, I seen it in the algorithm that some right wing lug nut was going to end up getting popped. What's that one lady's name? Savannah. I think her name is Savannah something. Let me try to pull her up because she got attacked. She got attacked in the streets because she walking around with a damn mic. You walking around with a damn mic in your damn hand, pissing people off that don't know if she's a girl or a man, or boy or a girl. You pissing them people off. Just like Candace Owens. Candace Owens go around antagonizing. I told you, guess who ended up gonna be next? Guess who gonna be next though? I bet you. And I ain't trying to wish death on nobody. I bet it be Candace Owens. She step her ass out in France talking about the Macron family out this bitch. Oh yeah, trust me, they go have some snipers on that damn Eiffel Tower. She ain't safe too. And I told you they was gonna start knocking right wing lug nuts off. I told you this. Told y'all this years ago. Why you think I calmed my black ass down? Because I ain't trying to get shot out this bitch. Fuck that. You ain't gonna have me out in no damn concert. Mr. Trump-tastic. Goddamn F-115s flying everywhere, American flags, eagles and shit, and I get shot in my fucking ass. Hell no. They ain't about to take me out like that. Fuck that. Got me fucked up. But as you can see, he took one. He took one for what he stood on. I'll give him that much. He took one on the head for what he stood on. And if that's your word, you go die on it. So that's the hill he died on. I ain't dying on that hill because I don't give a fuck about antagonizing the other side. We did that shit years ago. That's why I said y'all need. This was the time to be mending things together, not antagonizing the left. I don't even, bro. I'm so far away from antagonizing the left. My content. Go look at my content on my page. I really ain't talking about those people that are weird. I'm not talking about weirdos. I'm talking about biblical cosmology, religion. Uh, I do trending topics sometimes, and we do flat Earth and other things. We ain't just politics. That's how you end up getting shot, like Charlie Kirk out this bitch. You keep on talking about the same thing too many times, just one thing constant every fucking day. Guess what? You go get shot. Somebody go hate you. Somebody go try to get your ass up out of here. And I'm sorry it had to come to this. And I'm sorry we had to see this shit on a public level, but nobody's gonna tell you that what I just told you. Now, we ain't gonna show it again because I'm pretty sure y'all done seen it 5 million times already. Okay, they gonna show you at your worst. Now let's see. Let me pop. Let's do a little Santa surfing on the internet. Just because everybody's Santa surfing on the internet right now, trying to look at this. What is this? Who is this? Matt Wallens. Shouts out to Matt Wallens. I think he a right wing lug nut too. See, it's all these people on Twitter that got 500,000 million followers. They think they could. They think they control the word like fucking Jesus Christ out this bitch. And the thing is, you got Charlie Kirk talking for you, but he antagonizing all the crazies for mentalities just like Charlie Kirk. I told you in this new day and age, they gonna get you up out of here. If your content ain't balanced, if you right wing, lug nut, oh, they go peel your cap back, fam. They go peel your cap back off top. And it's gonna be Clementine, old man Clementine that do it. And like I said, nowadays, they pull up with the damn skin mask. So this could be anybody under here. Let me be honest with you. Shot in front of his damn family. What the? You see what I'm saying? He take his family on these damn trips. He thinking he damn motherfucking Donald Trump out this bitch. You seen what happened to Donald Trump? Isn't that enough for you? I gotta tell y'all this because it seemed like sometimes it's the only way y'all can get y'all message off if y'all antagonize the other damn. If y'all antagonize the other side. Hold on, we Santa surfing right now, fam. We Santa surfing right now. She said, "I've been told Charlie Kirk is alive. Praying for Charlie. I don't see how he fucking survived that damn shot. I don't see how they must have covered that up real quick. That was a hell of a shot, fam. America saw America after Trump was shot because we as a nation were praying and covering protection over him before he was ever shot in Butler. So what we gonna call this white on white crime? Because that's how the blackies go say it. Oh, white on white crime. The church shooter. The blackies go. I'm just letting y'all know right now what they gonna say. They gonna say this white on white crime for all the times y'all done talked about the blackies. They go use this too to tug on y'all heartstrings. Andrew Tate, one of them too. Andrew Tate, he an antagonizer. He antagonized a lot of people. He go get y'all killed too. Charlie Kirk go get y'all killed, and Andrew Tate go get y'all killed. So I'm gonna be honest with you. Ain't nobody about to tell y'all the truth out here. Everybody want to amp your ass up on the internet, and we killed all that shit. Matter of fact, we deaded all that with the last 3 episodes. If you've been following me for a while, we already got your mind right. You already know what's going on. But we called this out years ago. I said, just wait. Just wait. You go have one nutso come in here and fuck it up for everybody. So this at the event. Alone shooter had Charlie in the scope. He had a clear shot. And he out here in Utah in the damn mountains and shit. In the high grounds and shit. See, the thing is, if you go have your tent set up, make sure it ain't where no open space where they could just pop your ass. I guess whoever set this damn event up, they put the tent right there so the shooter can have an open shot. Let's just surf the internet. We going to some news. We just chilling right now, fam. We just chilling right now. Hold on. Oh, that news came out too. I told you he gave y'all some weird story. He said the government implanted materials in his body. That's what made him stab that white girl. Come on, man. We already know that's a hoax. We already broke that down on the last 2 episodes. This whole fucking story is fishy. This Charlie Kirk shit, this shit real, fam. What Tariq Nasheed says is the White House going to send the National Guards out to Utah to stop the violence? Tariq Nasheed, he been trolling Trump. He been trolling. And half the shit it makes sense, half the shit it don't. Let me be honest with you. I don't want to go right there. Hold on. Look. Right on. Look at this shit, y'all. Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell y'all? It says the left are celebrating Charlie Kirk being shot on TikTok, y'all. They celebrating Charlie Kirk being shot in the neck. The liberals, I told y'all. Why would you want to go to that damn college? Yeah, we got about 513 people in the building. Yes, we do. Get them numbers up. Get them numbers up. Make sure you hit that cash app, family. Because you go get the realist assessment on this channel. You go get the realist assessment on this channel, fam. Look at this.
You deserve it, but I'm saying that.
This is disgusting, y'all.
I'm not saying she
This is
deserved
disgusting.
it, but I'm saying God's timing is always right.
And goodness knows the wicked's lives are lonely.
They allegedly trolling Charlie Kirk on TikTok for him being shot. And they put a hole right in his neck, y'all. This is disgusting. It's a blood sacrifice. Look, she said, "How can you survive so much blood loss?" There was a lot of blood that squirted out his neck, and it looked like it hit a jugular. So I don't know how the fuck they saved him. I don't know how the fuck they saved Charlie Kirk. Or this is what they do, fam. This is what they do. They would end up shooting Charlie Kirk and putting another Charlie Kirk out there. Say he survived. No, say he died, but they already got his body double. It's the evil Charlie Kirk. Well, shit, they try to do that with Trump too. So the thing is, Trump got doubles, but Charlie Kirk, he ain't got no fucking doubles. Charlie Kirk got a doppelganger. Big difference between a double and a doppelganger. The doppelganger is what the evil motherfucking Zionists provided for your ass. This new body in Christ. This old body right here, it's gone, fam. You ain't about to trick me. He's gone. And the thing is, I don't know how he survived this. Look how big that hole. That's a gun you would shoot somebody with a deer with. So this allegedly, he's gone. We gotta say allegedly because you know how my brain works. They would swap Charlie Kirk out, and he would be a new doppelganger Charlie Kirk. The 2.0 might be Charlie Twerk. You never know. But guess what? Once they get your body, they can do whatever they want. Once they get your body down here in the basement of the Vatican, this is where you perform your Heimlich Abiff ritual and you get your new body. But don't let the evil motherfuckers get a hold of you first, because they go do it for you. That's what, like I said, they were trying to do. They were trying to kill Trump and swap his damn body out. This is crazy. This is crazy, y'all. And like I said, he's sitting right there. This the perfect time. This the perfect time, and right there, they gave him an open shot. Why would you have your shit set up? And you see how he got his shit set. Let me pull something up. Let me pull something up. You see that how he got his tent set up like this? And he got his tent set up just like the damn Kabbalah cube at Mecca and shit. You got all these people around. That's your tent right there. Guess what? He inside this thing, and they gave him an open shot. An open shot, y'all. Knowing you a prominent figure, knowing you pissing a lot of people off with your content in America, but you want to give these people an open shot? Where's your security team? Where's your snipers at? He ain't got no snipers. Who lied to him and told him he could actually be a politician without having snipers in 2025, man? Who lied to Charlie Kirk, fam? You don't have Secret Service. You out there naked. The thing is, you could have a crazy motherfucker just follow you home after one of these college events, just waiting in their car just to follow you home. You don't have enough security. That's the thing. He got too big for his britches. He didn't have enough security to pop shit off like this. You don't have enough trust, especially if you red, right wing. Of course, you don't have no damn protection if you that far right. Why you think Trump, and Trump is good at this. Trump is good at balancing his administration out. Even though he might lean a little right, he still balance it out in certain instances. Because you got to think that there are still dummies out there that like carrying on. Like even with the C-19 type shit. Guess what? He kind of leaned his way left because he know there's dummies that's just go take the shit. It don't matter what he say. Why not make money off these dummies? They go perish anyway, whether it be a shot or or Ozempic. You know what I'm saying? If it got doo doo on it and you wrap it up in a nice present, a nice wrapper, Americans will buy it, y'all. As long as it's wrapped up in a shiny wrapper, people will buy it. A piece of poop, yes they will. A lump of coal. But yeah, they got the
Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
and all these people watched him die. All these people watched him allegedly die. He's not dead. I hope he's not dead. We go pray he make it out, but will he ever be the same? No. He will never be the same after this, man. Who pumped his head up though? Who pumped his head up? I told you. He trying to start his own campaign. He trying to run. I told you his ass was trying to run for president. I told you Charlie Kirk was gonna try to run for president, and he was gonna try to do it in this next decade. You see him trying to get his following up. Crazy left wing lug nut said, "Fuck no, you ain't running for no goddamn president in 2035 out this bitch. You're not doing it." Oh my god, man! I don't know how many times I gotta be right. It's like I'm right it's like I'm 99.95% right, and people actually was trying to discredit what I was saying at the time. I said, man, these right wing lug nuts, they letting the internet go to their fucking head. All right, and I said that too, and there was a few people that got into altercations in the streets with microphones trying to interview weirdos. Why would you go up to oh my god. Why would you go up to somebody with a microphone in their hand and ask them if they care if they a man or a woman or not, or if you know what they are, just to get some fucking content and views? And you trying to troll them people? You trying to troll them weirdos just for content, like and views, so you can end up running for public office and shit just to get some following and stuff like that? Is it worth it? You think I'm about to spend my time? See, that's that politic. Poly. Let's do some etymology right here, because I know y'all, the motherfuckers y'all listen to. The people y'all listen to go have y'all fucking get shot in the neck and shit. Okay, you keep on listening to these right wing lug nuts, you go end up like Charlie Kirk. You go be riding out there like, see, they trying to get the white folks out there riding and shit. That's what they trying to do. That's what they've been trying to do. Polly, is your favorite YouTuber or your favorite person that you listen to breaking this etymology down? Hell no. That's why you in a sunken place with a lot of people, and the people that have been subbed up to this channel for a while, we on top, baby. We ahead of everybody else. Poly is the prefix divert from Greek meaning many, minis. Using a word like polygon, a figure with many sides, y'all. Many sides to this thing. that is also referred to as the pentagram, family. The pentagram, or what we call the Star of David. Now, the thing is, this is many. This symbol means many sides, many layers. It's also personifying a polar vortex as well, or what we call a reciprocating hyperboloid. This is your electromagnetic torus field, and as you can see, they're using the same symbol as the swastika. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but y'all know what I'm saying. The Sterelian logo, and like I said, this is just one thorn they can poke you. This is Jesus with the thorns coming out his head. All right, that means you in a polylistic religion where you thinking you worshiping one God, but you worshiping like 3 or 4 and shit, maybe 5 or 6. I don't know, but this is the root word of politic. Now, guess what? Let's show you. Let's show you the. Let's show you the tick. Who are the ticks? The ticks are the parasite. The ticks are the parasite, family. The ticks are the parasite, and as you can see, what's there in that bite right there? There's a hole. Now, look at Charlie Kirk's neck. There's a hole. He got bit. Trying to politic. Now he's basically being bitten by a parasite. Politic. But that's what happens when you don't have the discernment of Christ. You see Christ with this halo around his head? That means everybody that had a halo around his head, they had the knowledge of the quantum computer. They had the knowledge of the Nehushtan, this thing right here, or what they call Beelzebub. See, the ticks are the bees too, all right? The ticks are the bees for the hive mind, draconian, aka the demiurge. And he sent his ticks out to do damage. All right, as you can see, somebody ticked him off. The tick is also the algorithm inside the quantum computer. Let's pull this up, family, because I ain't playing with y'all. I am not playing with y'all. Logo. Let's look up this TikTok logo. The TikTok logo, that's the ticking time bomb. Okay? And how they was trying to hit Charlie, they were trying to blow his head off. Like a damn ticking time bomb. This is the bomb right here. This shaped like the bomb right here. This will make you blow up. TikTok will make you blow up overnight. TikTok is the bomb, fam. Same thing. TikTok. Where did Charlie Kirk get all his views from? Damn TikTok. Charlie Kirk. You turn to Charlie Kirk, his channel booming on TikTok because he hitting you with them right-wing lug nuts. Keep on hitting you with right-wing lug nuts. And guess what happened? Charlie Kirk never balanced his content out. And this is what happens when you don't balance your content out. You know who up next? You know they go pop her ass next. I already told you they was gonna pop her ass. Candace Owens next. Tell you that right now. Candace, look, let's just say this now. We don't wish bad on people, but how she talking about them damn macons? They go set her ass up. Let me be honest with you. They go set. Matter of fact, I'm about to make a post. Candace Owens better watch out. She might be next. Real, she might be next. Now, let's get into some. It might be, it might be Hillary. He don't have a lot of protections, fam. According to reports, Charlie Kirk is alive in the hospital. I'm surprised they didn't do him like Martin Luther King. Because guess what? They said Martin Luther King, he survived his assassination attempt, and then somebody went in there with the pillow and smothered him with the pillow. Go look up them CIA releases tapes. So You can survive from a damn marksman. Yes, you can, but guess what? They didn't finish his ass off. They try to get him. That's what they try to do. They try to get him between. They try to get him in his head. They got him in the neck, but the neck is well. A headshot would have been. Boy, Charlie Kirk. Boy, Charlie Kirk better be praying to God right now. I'm gonna be honest with you, cause he could have got shot. We could have seen his head bust like a damn tomato. What the hell? Given that everyone is okay, if you can't laugh at Charlie Kirk being shot at the Utah event, politics for ain't for you. What the hell? What the hell's going on? Motherfucker just saying all kind of weird shit. See? They coming out with the White Lives Matter shirts now. Y'all might as well pop these on in the name of Charlie Kirk. Nobody should be killed for the. We go look. We go see how we even scanned the internet to see how many dumb people there was on this last case. We caught a lot of hypocrites. We caught a lot of people that don't know how to do homework on the internet. So this might be Charlie Kirk's Heinrich Abiff ritual, family. And Charlie Kirk is Jewish, if I'm not mistaken. And every Jewish person has to take this Heinrich Abiff ritual. He has to go down and they have to raise his body up like Christ. So this is Heinrich Abiff. This goes solidify him. If he makes it out and they sew his neck back up, this go solidify him in the political arena. People go remember this date, and then guess what? Your ass go vote for Charlie Kirk. Goddamn 2055 out this bitch. It's already been written, but that's what the Heinrich Abiff. That's what the Heinrich Abiff ritual does. It can be real or fake. Ask them. Ask your grandfather. He in the damn lodge. He go to the lodge every time he get out of church. He go straight to the Masonic lodge. He know all about the Heinrich Abiff ritual. Sometimes they pull your penis down to your ankles. And guess what? You can't do nothing about that. Why they said why is Don Lemon so gleeful when reporting that Charlie? Because he probably already knew that Charlie Kirk was gonna get shot. The thing is, if Don Lemon knew he was gonna get shot, why didn't everybody else know he was gonna? The thing is, I already knew he was gonna get shot. It was gonna be Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens, Officer Tatum, Myron. Who else go out there just fucking acting shit? They was gonna really get Myron's ass. Y'all know who I'm talking. They was really gonna get Myron's ass. Hold on. Let's see. We go be on here for babe. You got another blizzy? Yeah, I am cooking. Hold on. I'm gonna go check this food here in a second. And then when I go check the food, I'm gonna have some news shit playing in the background. And then we go come up. So let's get into this, man.
So here's my synopsis of what just happened to Charlie Kirk. I'm telling you right now, liberal influencers and liberals and I can't even talk right now. I'm so fucking pissed. Y'all are fucking terrorists. Liberals are the fucking terrorists of the fucking planet. Y'all are the ones who are creating all this fucking bullshit and all this crime. I don't give a fuck who fucking hears me. Y'all fucking liberal content creators that are paid by the fucking liberal DNC and y'all liberal content creators.
See, one thing he's skipping out, he pointing the finger, but shit, right-wing influencers get paid to antagonize too. That's what he fell into realizing. He fell into tell y'all because his brain's gumped down with right-wing lug nut. He ain't gonna tell you what I'm gonna tell you. I told you to stop fucking doing it. I told you to chill out. He didn't have to go out there 3 times a week. He could have went out there 1 time a week. He could have went out there 1 time a month. He don't need to be going city to city like a goddamn tour, and you know there's crazy out there that don't like your rhetoric. That's a damn no brainer. That's a damn no brainer. We see that in the rap game. See what happened to Tupac? He took his ass out to L.A. He wasn't supposed to. His mom told him not to go out there. His ass got shot in Las Vegas. Las Vegas, fam. None of these right wing influencers is gonna tell you what I've been telling you. None of them. I don't think I done seen because I told y'all last to calm down. But who told y'all to keep going? These right wing lug nuts. And don't get me wrong, I got love for my right wing lug nuts, but they just they just spazzing out. They just spaz out too much, and you got to think Trump. He wrote these people out of history. He wrote most of these people out of history. You don't think they want revenge? Who you think they go take their revenge out of? Trump supporters. Especially the real extreme. And you know what? Is Charlie Kirk even a Trump supporter anymore? Or did he turn on Trump too? You know, I think he turned on. I think he done said something slick before about Trump. He done ran his mouth. I think he done ran his mouth. Yeah, he done ran his mouth. But anyway, that's not the point. He shouldn't have got shot. But he did, family. This was already in the manifesto. He going against, you gotta think, he talking shit about BlackRock. He getting more popular and shit. He talking real shit. And then guess what? You go on one of these going on one of these shows all out in the open and things of that nature, and now you become a big target for the elite. You become a big target. Your safe place was just moving around, maybe once a month, do your videos. How much money are you trying to get? If the thing is, if you want people to come to your establishment, rent out a basketball stadium or something like that, where it's covered. You don't have to worry about no shooter. You can have your people go in there, check, put your people in all the high places, and then you straight. You have everybody in there. You do the concession stand, boom, boom, boom. You have your music, your YMCA shit, and you rock out with your cock out like that. But you can't go out in the open with your fucking head out when you got damn money on your head. Who gonna be next? Because the McConn family about to sue her ass into oblivion, but she worried about other people's body parts. She talking about the president's body. She talking about the president's body parts, fam. And she skipped Big Mike. How you fucking worried about McConn and you skip Big Mike? So that we dealing with a lot of deception from right and left. It ain't just the left. I told y'all, watch the flip. Y'all didn't watch the flip. Y'all did not watch the flip. And this is why y'all flabbergasted at these events. And y'all cannot break these psyops down. You can't break the matrix down. It's your fault because you took these politics too far. You didn't want to balance it out. See, the thing is, Mr. Trump-tastic, I could be friends with anybody. I could be friends with a liberal. I could be friends with a goddamn motherfucking a zesty motherfucker. I ain't gonna shit. Motherfucker want to be zesty, go be. I ain't gonna treat you no type of way. You know what I'm saying? That's on you. I got a family. Worry about your damn self. See, that's the thing. A lot of people didn't want to worry about themselves. It was always about this, that, how this can be. You're not gonna change nobody nowadays. Just stop trying to do it. You're not gonna change nobody because everything already been written. If you read the Bible, it says this shit ain't gonna get no better. So why you out here praying for peace, knowing the damn well the God of this earth is mad as hell and he wants your ass gone today in Utah? Well, I don't know what y'all would do without me, man. I really don't know. I'm very, and this is why I don't listen to nobody. You think I flood my mind with Charlie Kirk and Benny Johnson? Who else? Officer Tatum, Andrew Tate. You think I watched them motherfuckers? Hell, fucking no. I got away from them motherfuckers years ago. You think I'm just got the headphones on watching these gumps for fucking hours? Hell no. When I got my own damn beautiful mind, hell no. When I know they shit is paid for, yeah, they shit's paid for, fam. Because somebody wants Charlie Kirk to run for president. Somebody wants Charlie Kirk to run these campaigns, go on these damn colleges, trying to get voters, trying to switch people's minds up and shit. That's what he was trying to do. And when Charlie Kirk start making sense on a large stage, oh, you think some evil Democrat with a skin mask on go give a fuck? Hell no. Who was protecting Charlie Kirk? Nobody. Who set his fucking tent up? Who set his tent up like the Kabbalah cube to get shot? Somebody y'all set this motherfucker's tent up to get shot. Y'all set his tent up like the damn Kabbalah cube. I told y'all don't even protect white people. Just like that damn Ukrainian girl that got allegedly stabbed. And I gotta say allegedly on that because shit, we zoomed in, we did a zoom in and we did a 3% slowdown. And guess what? Shit ain't adding up. Shit ain't adding up, fam. And I'll be damned if I let a motherfucker that don't do homework on the internet tell me what the fuck going on in this bitch. You got a fat motherfucker watching TV, CNN, and then want to come and argue online, but ain't zoomed in, ain't did no homework on nothing. They just get the trending topic and run off with because they already fucked up in the head too. You gotta watch them people too, because they have no knowledge of discernment. They wasn't blessed. Christ didn't bless them at all. Now let's get to. I told you I'm not playing with y'all this year. It's straight heat this year. We trolling on 1,000. The troll game is on 1,000 right now, family. Let's get into it.
That fucking incite violence and all this bullshit, y'all are terrorists because none of us have ever and will ever go up there while one of your fucking little influencers are talking and shoot them in the fuck.
No, we won't, but they will. And you still want to go out there and politic. And then we broke down the root word of politic. Multiple ticks on your ass. Politic.
Fucking neck. But guess what? Bet. This is what you fucking do. This is what you.
And the thing is, crazy thing about it, let's be honest. Us right wingers ain't gonna do shit. They could shoot us in the neck. They could say all kind of weird things to us, but if we retaliate on some type of violence, guess what? We going to jail. So we ain't gonna do shit. So guess what we do? We politic on the internet. Haha. Yeah. We try to change the world through the internet. Yeah, that's fake. That's the fake revolution. You can't change nothing on the damn internet. It's the net. Enter the net. Who is saying enter the net? Satan. So he could trap your ass in this damn net where you think everything is real, but it's not. You think everything is as it is, but there's always a storyline behind it.
Do. For people that have free think and free speech, you go and fucking shoot somebody in the fucking neck because you can't handle your little fucking feelings. Bet.
And he ain't. And the thing is, he say this shit, and he ain't gonna do nothing. He ain't gonna do shit. He ain't about to pick up no gun. He ain't about to chase nobody. He about to sit after he make this video. That's why I said all this shit on on the internet is just he just bumping his gums. And the thing is, he go shut down his channel because all he got is politics. You think I want my brain filled with politics 24/7? I might want to talk about some other stuff. So you got, and this is what happens. You got people like Nick Fuentes, which is a white nationalist with a Mexican last name. I've never heard that in my damn life. Matter of fact, it ain't no difference than Jesus and Jesus, a Greek name with a Mexican last name. So I guess that's how things just manifest, obviously. So guess what? Nick Fuentes tries to do. Nick Fuentes, he tries to get into relationship advice. Why is Nick Fuentes getting into relationship advice? Because he's trying to take your mind off of politics, even though he don't have any type of good advice to give you. Because I think he's a flaming homosexual too.
They said he's dead.
Charlie Kirk dead. Damn. Damn. I knew it too. I was like, man, he ain't gonna survive that shit, bro. Damn, man. Damn. Now since Charlie Kirk is dead, guess what? Who go be the right wing lug nut to do some shit? You see what I'm saying? Do you got the balls? No, you don't. You gotta just say, oh shit, how do we prevent this? Get your ass up out that fucking streets with the damn microphone. Get your ass up out them streets and go get you a regular damn job, fam. Charlie Kirk died, man. Charlie Kirk died. And you see, this shit crazy. We got this going on and this going on. They said September was about to pop. They said September, October was about to pop. Breaking news. Conservative commentator Charlie Kirk has died after being shot at an event in Utah, fam. Yeah, I'm gonna have to smoke a blunt for him. This shit crazy, fam. And the Democrats are happy. This is what Trump said 3 minutes ago. This is what Trump said. The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. See what I'm saying? 31 years old, fam.
He's younger than me.
Yeah, he younger than you. And like I said, he with that right wing love nut shit. He go, boy. I tell you what, man. I tell you what. And we called this out a long time ago. We said, man, which one of these right wing lug nuts is gonna get shot? I said it's just a matter of time how they just going out with this damn microphone, just pissing people off. Just pissing people off. This is crazy. Yeah, this is devastating. And the thing is, I gotta keep it real with y'all on how to prevent this shit. Because you got right wing agitators pushing this, this extremist. You basically making it worse when you don't know how to balance it out. If you don't know how to balance it out, what you believe in is gonna reach a precipice, and it's gonna reach a new level of Satanism. Because once you get closer to the truth, Satan he go block that. He go block that, especially in this world. See, God don't run this world. Satan runs this world. Let me get that clear right now. Go look at your Bible. God don't have nothing to do with this fucking funky ass shithole. God don't have nothing to do with money. God don't have nothing to do with politics. He made you and said you figure it out. I ain't got y'all figure it out. The people that y'all praying to and thinking is God is the demiurge. That's Yahweh, who they call Yahweh. That the alien God, the alien God. But like I said before, this is off the charts, fam. Charlie Kirk is dead. Now, some people are happy to see this. A lot of people are devastated, and there's people out there like me that are devastated. And I can actually say, I told you this was gonna happen. I said it's just a matter of time because I've seen too many instances of right wing lug nuts that just keep on poking the bear, and she's one of them too. She's one of them too. All right. I gave you a whole lineup of people that like to just push the envelope, like to go places, be seen, uh, like basically forcing their values in these spaces that you're not welcome. Let them freaks take each other out, fam. You don't have to put on a cape and save the day, especially with some damn freakazoids. I don't give a fuck what a liberal says. Trump already won. Why the hell I'm gonna be arguing with a damn liberal for? Still arguing with liberals at colleges. Let me see. Let me show you who else do the same thing. Because it's a few of them. And guess what? Guess what? They ask go second guess about going to these damn colleges. Let's see what he got to say. He spooked.
So if you do think this is funny, I need you to take a.
His ass spooked because guess what? He gonna say he ain't gonna tell you what I told you. See, he got a quarter million viewers, but he's on that same tip. Or we go to these colleges and just talk shit to these motherfuckers like somebody won't put their ass. Like a crazy motherfucker just would throw their life away because you said some whacked out shit. These motherfuckers don't have no balance in their content at all. But guess what? They got all the views. So you gotta think he amplifying all these people. They're doing it right now. They amplifying all these people. And guess what? People go ride out. People go ride out. All right.
He threw the biggest events, the best events, with amazing production. I've been to multiple of them.
You see what I'm saying? He throwing all these events and shit. I'm showing you how you go end up dying if you go this route. You go end up dying if you go this route. If you're not able to let things be what they are, you go down that route. But if that's the leg he wanted to stand on, if that's his legacy, the leg that's the hill he go die on, fam. Just like Myron, he gonna be remembered for the same thing, going on these damn campuses. See, he tried to follow the Charlie Kirk uh, agenda. Go on these campuses, talk shit for views, piss people off, and get your head blown off at the end of the day. All for what? Politics? Let's get into it.
But then when a man loses his life, you guys think it's funny. Fuck you guys.
And look, the thing is, I know a lot of y'all follow Myron Gaines. Look, I don't even follow this bitch. I only check on Marlon Gaines when I want to pull up what weird stuff he done did so I could talk about it. So let's get into it. No, I'm tired of his ass. Let's see what Candace Owens. Let's see what this Gump got to say. She ain't gonna say shit. Hold on. I can't process this. Nah, because you go end up being next. I told you. McCon ain't playing. I told these motherfuckers, look, be careful, Candace. She said, I know you were friends with him on IRL. I'm not a religious guy, but I've been trying to appeal to man. Look, this motherfucker got you see. This how I know you're going to hell. If you gotta say, hey Grunk, is this true? You're not gonna make it, fam. If you gotta ask AI if something's true or not, I think it's your time to exit the building. I think it's your time to exit the building. All right, let me put it on some news, and we go. I gotta go check this food right quick. So I'm gonna let some shit ride. Hold on. I'm gonna let some stuff ride. Hold on. Maybe let's do this on Truth Social. You know, Truth Social got their own cable channel. Let's pull up Truth Social. How did I do this the last time? I think we did it like this. Yeah, let's see what they putting on Truth Social. Live. Hold tight, y'all. Hold tight. Nah, let's get off that because let's type it in like this. Let's type it in like this. Let's see. All right.
Just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Okay.
Freaked out and screamed, and then after everyone was leaving, there was just a lot of confusion until the cops started making everyone leave because people were still standing around and talking and in clusters, but the majority had run. And so, you know,
21 years
after
old,
that,
dead.
the
That shit
police
crazy.
forced everyone in and they started roping off the courtyard in yellow police tape. And then as we were walking through the hall, policemen with large the campus was being shut down.
I'll see with the police. Was there a police presence there from the beginning? You know, how did it unfold?
Yeah, so there definitely was a police presence there. I saw some on top of the balcony above, and some below. And of course, you have Kirk's own kind of bodyguards around. But I will definitely say we saw a lot more after the shooting, of course.
Save the country, National Guard, whatever you need to do. I want Trump to issue a mass National Guard deployment in every single Democrat-operated sanctuary city in the entire country. I want him to flood every single...
Hold on, y'all. We still surfing. I don't want to get copyrighted off this shit. There's a lot. We just go, damn, Charlie Kirk all over this joint.
What matters most?
That's
I'm gonna give you
crazy,
this
fam.
designer bag if you can prove to me that you know your finances.
Well, let's do it.
How many subscriptions?
The fact that it's a malleable document.
That's the beauty of the document.
And the First Amendment, which seems absolute as well, no law shall abridge freedom of speech. Well, laws can. You can have defamation laws. You can have laws saying you can't scream fire in a crowded movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
So we can abridge, even though it says technically no law.
Pop up this joint.
Folds the rifle down, he can escape. So the fact that they don't have
was about gun violence, actually.
Why can't
We just hear a pop.
Why can't we hear the volume?
And I I saw Charlie's tilt back and
Why can't
he
we
just
hear
fell
the
backwards.
volume?
And that's kind
Hold
of the
on,
moment
y'all.
that
on is potentially we will see also the flags be lowered to half mast to honor
they done
Charlie
cut-
Kirk. That was an
we
order
can't even
from
hear the
President
volume.
of the
Hold
United
on.
States as he announced that they will be that way until Sunday at 6 o'clock. So we're just following it very closely.
35 years old. This is your moment. Charlie Kirk represented you. Charlie Kirk he came in with a crazy idea. I want to take over student governments. This is when he first came to Breitbart. I want to take over student governments in college and then in high schools, right? And what you have now is a political powerhouse, a grassroots, not just grassroots powerhouse as far as delivering Matt Boyle, but also thought leaders. Remember, he had the pastors, he would have thinkers, he had.
You see, they trying to clown him for being Jewish, for going to that damn wall. And allegedly, they saying he a damn Zionist, which is irrelevant. He ain't no damn Zionist. He don't know how to do no damn. I don't know if he know how to build a quantum computer or what, but a Zionist, there ain't no such thing as Zionists in politics. You got scientists, evil scientists that the politics lobby. He might be a lobbyist for the Zionists. He ain't no real Zionist. A real Zionist is Dr. Fauci, okay? A real Zionist is Elon Musk, all right? These individuals that play politics or in government, they don't know how to build shit. And if they do, they ain't telling us, all right? Glenn Beck, hold on, what they say, Glenn Beck says Charlie Kirk had a post, says his daughter was at the tent. I spoke to somebody in the position who knows and said that he has had a post, so that's good news. And he gone now, fam. So this is who killed Charlie Kirk. He killed Charlie Kirk, y'all.
If that's the guy in the picture, they said it wasn't him.
They said it wasn't him. All right, it's still okay. It's saying apparently this isn't the shooter. So thanks for the homework, babe. See, they let this damn social media get too out of control, man. You would never catch me posting nothing like this over some damn Israel and Gaza. That's the least concern. That's the least concern on my mind when I lay down at night. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing that comes to my mind is I'm gonna go feed my family. It ain't about no motherfuckers in Gaza and shit like that. It ain't about no motherfuckers in the next town over either. It's in my town. But emergency service responded airlifting. The thing is, he probably survived. They just killed him on the way to the hospital. She said, "We need to unite for Charlie. We cannot let Charlie's efforts stop. We must keep fighting in Charlie's name." Look what she said. She said maybe Charlie Kirk shouldn't have spent years being a hateful demographic fascist, and this wouldn't have happened. Maybe he should have taken some personal responsibility. But you heard me say the same thing, lightweight. You heard me say the same thing. He spent years Even though he might have been a good guy, he still went years pissing people off, man. Politic. She don't like Charlie Kirk. All right. You could tell she don't like Charlie Kirk, but is she lying? Is she lying? No, she's not lying. She's not. I even said the same thing. I wouldn't put myself around individuals in a liberal college with my head open. He at least should have walked in there with a helmet or something. But these crazies, they don't care. They're gonna take you out. If they take the president out, who is Charlie Kirk? He had too much shit going on. Charlie Kirk says gun deaths, unfortunately, worth it to keep. See, it's the chicken coming home to roost. They say this the chicken coming home to roost right here. They burning them up in the comment section too. The thing is, he didn't have no real protect. He didn't have no. Whoever set that tent up, that's the one who killed his ass. Whoever set that tent up is the one who killed his ass. She said, Candace, let's talk about how bad the white community is after this. So sad. No one should die over a political opinion. What did the thing is? Christ died for a political opinion. How the hell you gonna say no one should die when the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ died for the same thing? Charlie Kirk went out just like Christ. Charlie Kirk got holes in his neck. Christ got a hole in his hands. Once they pierce you, you see Moloch with a hole in his hand and a hole in his chest. That's the all-seeing eye. But they go poke a hole in your ass. When they want you gone out of here, they go pin. They go, this is a religious order, man. Once you pin the body down, you become the pent down man, or what they call the pentagram. And whatever you was uploading into this quantum computer right here, whatever you was uploading, it spits it back out. We went over this on the last episode. And then you got to deal with whatever the consequences you put in this thing. This thing is deadly. That's why they didn't let everybody use it. That's why they didn't let everybody go to the temple, man. This is an old form of their God, Yahweh. Let's get into it, man. They trolling Kirk. They trolling Charlie Kirk right here. Because he said, look, Charlie Kirk says guns save lives, but they don't. They don't. They don't. If you don't have one to shoot back. I know y'all scared of real information. This shit crazy.
Yes, is this what I'm hearing? Yes, can I get here?
Yes.
Yes. Wow, right here, Rav, at this moment, guys. Let's go around the horn, Gino. You were continue on the horrendous news that Charlie Kirk has passed.
Well, my prayers are for Erica,
This
for her
is
children,
crazy, right?
for his family. This is beyond devastating, Eric. I've known Charlie, as I said, since he was a child, running around, coming to conservative events.
John Solomon's reporting on Just the News that he's passed. Yes,
he's gone, fam. Hold on. We going down Candace Owens' page. She ain't gonna say nothing because she possibly might be next. Real Myron Gaines, they all on the chopping block, man. They all on the chopping block right now. Myron Gaines, Candace Owens, Officer Tatum. See, the thing is, if they getting Jewish people, it seems like they getting Jewish people. Whoever went to that damn wall. So let's see if they start picking up on Nick Fuentes might be next. Okay, we don't know at this point. We don't know. Look at this. She said, "Who is this from?" Marion Cap Flip. He said, "For the libs, they said they are coming for you." This gonna be the sacrificial blood sacrifice to pop off that man. We told you there was multiple things going on. So this the dude. Man, we don't even know if that's the dude that shot him. The dude that shot him, he probably at motherfucking Outback Steakhouse right now. This the decoy. He didn't shoot dude. That's how they already have a escape route. They already gonna have all that set up. So they said, "Oh, we can't get Trump. Let's see who else we gonna get. Let's see, Charlie Kirk. Oh, he's a soft target." That's what they said. Oh, we gonna pop his head. That's what they said. He's a soft target. Let's see what else is going on. Wow, yeah. It's him. What? What time is it? You see what they said? Look at this. They said breaking. Oh my God, they said breaking. Charlie Kirk shooter still at large. CNN reporting. Suspect is not in custody. This man. No. This is another dude. It ain't the dude I put up. The dude, this just came out. Like,
Oh yeah, that's the one I was talking about.
yeah, it ain't him. The dude still walking around this bitch. This the decoy right here, fam. This the decoy. They sending out a decoy. See, Trump need to send them damn shooters out there to look for this motherfucker right now. That's what Trump need to do. And NBC is blaming him. The shooter is professional and working for the government. No random ass person is making that shot, right? He said his 12-year-old grandson can make that shot. He said, "I know plenty of deer hunters that can make that shot." Yeah, but this is he a lone wolf? I don't know. George Zim. Hold on.
He was on medication, a little bit loony boon, maybe who could be there and pull that trigger and do it. And I don't think it was George Zim. He was poor, broke. He maybe was on medication, a little bit loony boon, maybe a perfect person to pick and say that did it, but I don't think he did it at all.
So at this point, but did you see him taken into custody? Did you see him with any kind of thing in his hand, any device in his hand or anything like that?
Yeah, I saw when they actually put the handcuffs behind his back.
Okay.
I followed them.
All right, we're going to go to Jason Chaffetz. You know, obviously there's going to be a lot of theories that are.
Who could be there and pull?
Wow. At a loss for words. They said the shooter was up, Last story Charlie Kirk posted before he died. Utah Valley. See, he in the valley. He in the valley, fam. Let's look it up. He in the valley, the Utah damn valley. And the valleys in the Bible are multi-faceted. I'm reading what this says because we got tired. Remember in the Bible it says you should walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Charlie Kirk died in the damn Utah Valley. Valleys in the Bible are multifaceted, serving as literal locations and rich symbols of spiritual truths. They remind believers of God's presence in time of trial, family. He in the damn valley. Everything's been written. Yeah, man. Shit crazy, family. Let me put it on something. So we cannot hear. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, on social media commenting Charlie Kirk was murdered for speaking truth and defending freedom. A lion-hearted friend of Israel, he fought the lies and stood tall for Judeo-Christian civilization. I spoke with him only 2 weeks ago, invited him to Israel. Sadly, that visit will not take place. We lost an incredible human being. His boundless pride in America and his valiant belief in free speech will leave a lasting impact. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Also coming in, Donald Trump. I love you, brother. You gave so many people the courage to speak up, and we will never be silenced. That coming in from Donald Trump Jr., quoting his father. Also, Speaker Mike Johnson saying, I'm utterly devastated. Charlie was a close friend and confidant. He will be sorely missed by so many. Every political leader must loudly and clearly decry the violence. Our prayers go out to his wife and young children. May he rest in peace. And we're also hearing from Speaker Mike Johnson just a little bit ago. Again, just part of this cabinet, Brooke Rollins, the ag secretary, saying the death of my sweetest friend and fellow warrior for Christ and for America, Charlie Kirk, is a profound tragedy. First and foremost, his lovely Erica, and their two beloved children that he leaves behind. They feel it more keenly than any of us can, and our first duty is to pray both for his soul and for their peace. And as I was mentioned, we heard from Speaker Mike Johnson. He held a moment of silence, a moment of prayer on the floor there at the House of Representatives. Let's take you out to this quick sound. This was prior to the initial confirmation, as they were just getting in those reports of the shooting that ultimately turned fatal. Let's listen in.
We just want to make a brief statement here, and I'm going to go and ask my colleagues to join me in a moment of silence for our dear friend Charlie Kirk. We ask everyone to pray for him and his family. I'm just going to state the obvious here. This is detestable, what's happened. Political violence has become all too common in American society, and this is not who we are. It violates the core principles of our country, our Judeo-Christian heritage, our civil society, our American way of life, and it must stop. We need every political figure, we need everyone who has a platform to say this loudly and clearly. We can settle disagreements and disputes in a civil manner, and political violence must be called out, and it has to stop. Again, we ask for prayer. I'm going to go lead the chamber here in a moment of silence, and we hope for the best for Charlie. Thank you.
All right, just listening in there, that was Speaker Mike Johnson holding that moment of silence, that moment of prayer, and that was before President Trump confirming the news that Charlie Kirk was fatally shot on the campus at Utah Valley University, speaking out, speaking to different members of that community, to different students there as well. So, of course, we do have a couple pictures there in Washington, D.C. of the White House, as Charlie Kirk was a close ally of the president. So you can see this here on Live Now from Fox, as talking about this, honoring the memory of Charlie Kirk, a live picture right there in Washington, D.C. at the White House. Also, you can see the giant flags, the big American flags there just north and south of the White House as he orders them for half staff. as he has also released a proclamation honoring the memory of Charlie Kirk, saying, as a mark of respect for the memory of Charlie Kirk by the authority vested in me as President of the United States by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, I hereby order that the flag of the United States will be flown at half-staff at the White House and upon all public buildings and grounds, at all military posts and naval stations, and on all naval vessels of the federal government in the District of Columbia and throughout the United States and its territories and possessions until sunset of September the 14th. I also directed the flag shall be flown at half-staff for the same length of time at all of the United States embassies, consular offices, other facilities abroad, including all military facilities, naval vessels, and stations, in witness whereof I hereunto set my hand this 10th day of September in the year of the Lord, 2025, and of the independence of the United States of America. So obviously, flags being flown at half-staff for Charlie Kirk. A live picture closer of that here very closely. And we're getting different images in from different locations there, as the suspect still very much at large at
Hold on, y'all.
local.
Adjusts our protective posture as needed to mitigate evolving threats. Out of concern for operational security, we cannot discuss the means and methods used for our protective operations. Again, that is a statement according to the U.S. Secret Service spokesperson. And Kana, we've been talking about the president's schedule as well. We are told by sources that he has canceled a planned dinner tonight with some of his cabinet officials and other outside guests. We are currently inquiring as to whether or not the president has adjusted his schedule for tomorrow as well. We've been told, and I've been told, that the mood right now in the White House is one of shock, disbelief, of grief. People are certainly rattled right now, Kana.
Rattled, that's for sure. We are also, of course, hearing from many prominent Republicans and Democrats, as you point out, across the aisle there, Selena. Speaker Johnson just releasing a statement calling it utterly devastating. He says that Charlie Kirk was a close friend of his as well and confidant. And he then goes on to say, Selena, that every political leader must loudly and clearly decry this violence. And it sounds like, at least in words, we are hearing that. And while they're decrying the violence, Selena, they also, there on the House floor, took a moment of silence.
This is a moment, in fact, when you see leaders across the political spectrum coming together. While they may not agree with all of the political positions, the social issues and stances that Charlie took, they all agree that this is not what our country is about. They are condemning this act of violence, saying this is something that should never happen in our country. As you mentioned, there is that somber moment on the House floor as we continue to see this outpouring of just outrage and grief and condemnation from leaders all across the political spectrum, Kana. This is just really an unbelievable moment.
And, you know, Selena, I've spoken with several witnesses who were there, and many of them were there just because they wanted to be there. They wanted to be a part of it. They wanted to see him speak. But others who say, I had a question for him. I was lined up. I was lined up with people to ask questions. And what they pointed out, Selena, that was even in the line, because of the area that Charlie Kirk had created, they were having lively debate, back and forth debate, Republicans and conservatives in this line together.
And Charlie Kirk was known for sparking that kind of conversation. He has so many viral moments online with his millions and millions of followers for all of them to view, where he has these sparring debates with students who are very progressive, who clash with his views, and he'd like to have these kind of rapid fire conversations. I mean, Turning Point USA, they are across the country. They go to these high school campuses, college campuses. He is an advocate for this conservative movement, for reaching this young base and mobilizing them to become part of this MAGA movement. But it wasn't just about spreading those ideals, but also debating with people who have wildly different views than he has. And he was very effective at using that and turning it into this media empire online through his social media videos, through his podcasts. Was seen as one of the most influential MAGA podcasters and right-wing influencers in general.
Absolutely. We talk a lot about his appearance on Governor Newsom's podcast. I mean, Governor Newsom chose him to launch his podcast. He was his very first guest. That was the level of importance that even, Democrats really viewed him as. Selena, I want to play for everyone a soundbite here. It's actually from our own John Karl, who was able to get President Trump on the phone. And John Karl's reflecting on the conversation they had, but this was just really moments before the announcement was made that this young 31-year-old father had been murdered.
I had a brief conversation with the president over the phone. He sounded quite upset, quite down about this. He told me it's horrific. It's one of the most horrific things I've ever seen. He was a great guy. He was a good man. He was an incredible guy. There's nobody like him.
You can even tell there, Selena, when John Karl is talking, just how impactful that conversation must have been with President Trump. We know that there is a tremendous ripple effect here happening, not only just in the White House, but throughout this country, as people are certainly thinking about Charlie Kirk's wife and young children, 2 of them under the age of 5.
31 years old. He is a father. He is a husband and a leader of this movement as well. And just reflecting on what John Karl was saying about his conversation with the president, I mean, this is someone who President Trump has frequently called out, expressing his gratitude, saying, thank you for getting the young people to vote for me. He recently, just a few months ago, he called out Kirk for his, quote, army of young people and young patriots who he helped to get out the vote. This is somebody who President Trump deeply valued in terms of his advice on reaching those young voters, but also a whisperer of the MAGA base. Charlie Kirk, he has frequently used his platform to praise the president's policy decisions, but at times he's also been critical, especially when it comes to the Epstein issue. He expressed that he was trusting and that the president would make the right decision, but he also was very critical, saying that there needed to be more transparency and that they weren't handling it well. And he had a huge megaphone, and it's a megaphone that the president really valued.
He certainly did. Selena Wang, our thanks to you. I also want to bring in former San Bernardino Police Chief Jared Bergwan, and thank you so much for being here with us, Jared. We've talked a little bit now about the manhunt that is currently going on here, and we've talked about it from the FBI perspective, the ATF perspective, but when you are a local police department, this police department there in Orem, Utah, this is south of Salt Lake, this is a small department. Tell me a little bit about the response to an event like this, and then, of course, the aftermath, and now the manhunt underway.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me, Kana. So we don't know a lot about how the local response has gone up to this point. We know that the university had their own public police department that undoubtedly was involved in this and involved in somewhat, to some degree, the planning of this event. We don't know how much. And then, of course, you have the local law enforcement that would be on standby or potentially was even there when the actual event took place. These types of events are challenging. Outdoor events are much more difficult than indoor events. You take somebody like Charlie Kirk, who undoubtedly probably has threats against him. Undoubtedly, as we know, he can be he can garner a lot of attention for the right and for the wrong reasons. And it's somewhat controversial to have him on campus, which puts the university and the community in a position where they have to plan for these types of events. Of course, there's always the question on who's going to pay for that type of security. We saw that Mr. Kirk had his own private security detail there that went into action as soon as this happened. But this is extraordinarily challenging, and it's the initial response. Even though this might become an FBI investigation when it's all said and done, and the federal government will bring enormous resources to the table to help solve this crime, the initial response and the initial investigation is going to be on the locals.
Well, and you bring up a couple of points there I want to follow up on. And first of all, in this video that we're playing, you actually see local police officers right there kind of keeping the crowd back as Charlie Kirk's private security detail is rushing him into an SUV there. Sadly, you see his arm sort of hanging, but you see the panic, frankly, and there was a quick response there. But you talked about the challenging environment, an outdoor event. Sadly, I think that those challenges are something that the American people is all too familiar with right now because of the aftermath of Butler, Pennsylvania. And when there was the attempt on the president's life in Butler, Pennsylvania, all of a sudden there was a lot of conversations about the safety in an outdoor event.
Yeah, outdoor events are extraordinarily difficult. We've heard a lot of guests that have come on the show so far, and they have talked about concerns that there really wasn't a lot of security. There was nobody checking their bags, nobody checking their tickets. This happens a lot in outdoor events because it's hard to control who actually has access. It's very possible that they focus their security on the ground level of that particular event. But as you can see in the quad there's high points, there's buildings all around. And we don't know exactly what distance this shooter was set up. I know we've heard 200 feet, which is, almost a football field. And I know we've heard even more. That's not a terribly complex shot, especially with a rifle. But it could very well have been beyond the regular security points. And that's what makes outdoor events so difficult.
And then how do you coordinate something like that? If you are concerned about that, how do you coordinate that with other police agencies, but also with his private security detail?
Yeah, so this is a lot of what we don't know up to this point. So undoubtedly, the security detail for Mr. Kirk for Turning Point USA, they have a plan in place. You could even see they had an exit plan. They knew exactly where they were going to take him. The cars were set up to make a very quick extraction. That went according to their planning. Where local law enforcement falls into this is a little bit of the gray area. Clearly, there was a uniformed police officer that was there very, very quickly. We don't know where the other uniformed assets were, nor do we know to what degree or how many resources local law enforcement, including the university, brought to the table. But in an ideal environment, you are going to work closely with his team. You are going to have an inner perimeter and an outer perimeter. You are going to position people strategically in and around the event, not only for general security, but to have eyes on the crowd. And of course, you have other security measures that you try to put into place as well. Do you have cameras? What does that network look like? What mechanism do you have to screen people coming in and out? What eyes do you have on the exterior part of the perimeter? But here's the challenge, Kane, is that we don't necessarily know what level they went to for Mr. Kirk's event. We know that he's somebody that's going to garner a crowd. We know that he gets a lot of attention, and we know that there's a protest element. But there's also a question that when people like that come into a public space, there is a debate on how much overtime and how much a city is going to pay for a security detail. And I know that's a silly discussion to have when you're talking about something as tragic as this, but this happens every single day on campuses and communities throughout the country. And that is a balancing act between what you bring to the table and how much you work with with him and his team versus how much you take on yourself.
Right. You can't overlook the reality that some of those local law enforcement leaders are dealing with, especially again now, as there is what we believe is a manhunt underway because the suspect is not in custody. Jared Bergwan, thank you for being here with us. I also want to bring in our ABC News correspondent, Jay O'Brien. He's live on Capitol Hill for us. And Jay, we know, again, Charlie Kirk, a popular conservative figure here, but the calls to end gun violence and the calls against this are bipartisan.
Yeah, an incredibly somber mood up here on Capitol Hill, Kana. That what you're referencing there, those calls for gun safety legislation, that came during a moment of silence on the House floor that was called in Kirk's honor. The House floor was silent, remembering the imprint that Charlie Kirk had left on the modern day Republican Party. And then towards the end of that moment of silence, as the speaker began to call the House to order to begin the vote series that they're in right now, as we wait for them to emerge from, there were Democrats in that room that called for gun safety legislation. There was this brief moment of tension where Mike Johnson had to call the room to order. But overall here on Capitol Hill, the Republican lawmakers we talked to are in mourning. The word that comes up so often, which again shows you the impact that Charlie Kirk has had on what these lawmakers call the conservative movement, is the word friend. I've heard from multiple Republican lawmakers who say their friend was shot and killed today. Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna of Florida remembers that it was Charlie Kirk who got her into politics, that called her when she wanted to instead go to medical school and called her to join his powerhouse political group, Turning Point USA. And that that led her, she says, to her path to come into Congress. I asked some other members here, given what they saw today and given what they have seen across the aisle impacting members of both parties for the last few years, do they believe that the U.S. has a political violence problem? And one of them was very clear to me, Congressman Ralph Norman. He said, absolutely, Kana.
Jay, as you're talking there, we're showing everybody live images of the headquarters of Turning Point USA. This is in Phoenix, Arizona. This is, a foundation that he founded when he was just 18 years old. And boy, oh boy, Jay, did it steamroll. And there's been a lot of talk here about if you didn't know Charlie Kirk a year ago, you know him now because he was a major player in the Republican National Convention in delivering the youth vote to Donald Trump. But he also showed up at the DNC as well because what he's known for, Jay, is having spirited debates with people who think differently than him.
Yeah, Charlie Kirk he co-founded Turning Point USA, Kana, when he was just 18 years old in 2012. And it played an integral role, as you say, in President Trump's victory in 2016 and in 2024, particularly in this last election when it was a key tentpole of the Trump campaign strategy to reach out to young conservatives. He had these kind of prove me wrong debates was the title he would have on college campuses. He rose to prominence in that as well, but he was a fixture in Trump world and in the MAGA movement. And that is really summed up by this tweet that was posted today, or this post on X from President Trump's son, Donald Trump Jr. I'm going to read it to you. It says, quote, "I love you, brother. You gave so many people the courage to speak up, and we will not ever be silenced." It was Kirk and Donald Trump Jr. who were so close, as our John Santucci has remarked over the course of our live coverage. It was Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump Jr. and a close-knit group that included the two of them that took a lot of credit for selecting J.D. Vance to be President Trump's vice presidential pick. So he was integral in this MAGA world. He was a fixture in the White House after Donald Trump returned to power. And there are many people up here on Capitol Hill, down Pennsylvania Avenue at the White House, who count Charlie Kirk as a close friend, who are in mourning today, Kenna.
Yeah, that word friend is really standing out to me too, Jay. And I'm hoping that we can bring back up those images, if possible, of Turning Point USA. Jay, while you stay with me here, we do have a statement from Turning Point USA that says, with a heavy heart, we confirm that Charles James Kirk has been murdered by a gunshot that took place during Turning Point USA's The American Comeback Tour campus event at Utah Valley University. They say, may he be received into the merciful arms of our loving Savior who suffered and died for Charlie. Jay, they then go on to ask that everyone keep his family and loved ones in their prayers and to respect their privacy and their dignity at this time. And you're now seeing people are already bringing flowers. There were so many people gathered at this event there, Jay, that really appreciated everything that Charlie Kirk had done for the conservative movement. But frankly, Jay, there was also people there who highly disagreed with him and wanted to take part in that debate. And there's been some concern from even witnesses that I spoke with, Jay, as we talk so much about the idea of free speech. And you're standing there on Capitol Hill, and we know that the House had a moment of silence. And you're also seeing the Arizona flag there at half staff at Turning Point USA. You're going to see American flags at half staff right behind it as well. And you're going to see that in all government buildings throughout this country and abroad as well. But Jay, back to the point here of the spirited debate here and the differing views. It is truly people on both sides of the aisle here that are coming out, and they're very concerned about not only him and his family. And I'm curious how you think that's going to play out in these next few days there on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, and we're also hearing, to your point about a political debate here, Kana, from Democrats who politically disagreed with Charlie Kirk, who are calling this a tragedy and who are remarking on the fact that in far too many cases over the years, we have seen these gruesome images of political violence like we saw today. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, he said today, quote, "Political violence has no place in America." We also heard from Gavin Newsom, who had hosted Charlie Kirk on his podcast earlier. As Congresswoman Debbie Dingell comes out, actually, when we talk about Democratic reaction, if you want to listen in, we might be able to hear.
Together to de-escalate the rhetoric and the hate in this country. It is upsetting. It's upsetting what's happening in schools, and we all have to work together. Hate is not acceptable. I cried when I found out he died. So All of us have got to work together and de-escalate the hate and the rhetoric in this country. And remember, we're Americans, and you can disagree in a way that doesn't end in a horrible way today did.
What can change, here in this building, around the country? Because we hear lawmakers, we hear political activists say that those same things every time something like this
I'm
happens.
somebody who goes to the other side of the aisle and talks to everybody. I'm someone who walks her talk every single day. And I'm asking everybody, I say it every day, whenever you see hate, stand up to it and speak out, which is how I've lived my life.
Kana, we're going to toss it back to you. We're going to continue to talk to some lawmakers here, but we'll send it back to you as your coverage continues.
But that's exactly what Jay was talking about there, though, the calls for the hate to end. I do want to bring in our Washington, D.C. Bureau Managing Editor, Catherine Falders, as well. Catherine, there's been so many questions now about not only how this could happen, but the manhunt that is underway. And we're hoping that authorities might give us some kind of update here very soon.
Yeah, we are. We're waiting to hear from authorities, I believe, any time now, Kana, where, of course, there are lots of questions to ask them and updates to hear from them. Unclear what they will say at this point, but at least at this moment, we're told by our sources that this manhunt appears to still be continuing for the suspected shooter, for the shooter. They don't have somebody in custody related, of course, to this shooting that was originally after the school had said there was a suspect in custody. And then, as you know, information comes in quickly and sporadically from the scene. The school had said there was a suspect in custody. Law enforcement officials later said that the manhunt continued, and it appeared the suspect is still at large. So it appears that that is the case, that is actively unfolding. Of course, we know that there are multiple law enforcement resources on the ground, local and federal. There's lots of federal agencies responding to the scene. Unclear exactly which officials we'll hear from during this press conference. I assume the governor will speak. But again, lots of updates to have from this. We haven't heard a formal briefing yet from anyone on the ground. And I do know, at least from talking to my sources, of course, that President Trump is monitoring this closely, along with the FBI director, the attorney general. I'm told that the FBI director was actually over at the White House earlier today with the president briefing him. So updates still continue to roll in on this as we look to learn more about the motive, who this person was, and if they are any closer, Kana, to finding this person who appears to still be at large at this point.
And Catherine, initially we were hearing from the university, right, about that there had potentially been a suspect in custody. It sounds like maybe there was a person at the event who was taken into custody, but in terms of the suspect, what authorities are now saying is that that person was not in custody, at least of now. And to your point, we're hoping that we will also hear from leaders throughout the state of Utah, potentially Governor Spencer Cox, and maybe Senator Mike Lee, who's was one of the first to put out a statement here as well. What you're looking at is the podium there. This is where we are hoping that officials will take to this podium here momentarily and bring us an update on this investigation, because Catherine, you have to imagine that even though the FBI, the ATF, all on scene, when community members see what happened, they know the deadly aftermath of it, yet they're not being told to shelter in place. There potentially is a lot of confusion that is ramping up throughout this community.
And my hope is, and I think this briefing will clear some of that confusion up, to your point about there being a suspect at large, but those at the school don't need to shelter in place. Some would potentially view that information as incongruous. At the same time, we don't know exactly over the past half hour what information authorities have gathered, what they have learned about the suspect that they're looking for, if anything. That is what this briefing, of course, could serve the purpose of, to update the community, of course, as federal law enforcement is surging in to Utah, working in conjunction with the state and local government. I assume something that they might say at this briefing is that the FBI, that federal investigators are taking the lead on this. I could expect something like that, of course, working with their local law enforcement partners here, but still lots of information to relay to the community here, to the students of that school, the people at that event, and more about exactly, and we hope to learn more about exactly what investigators know at this point about a motive, about the suspect, and whether or not they are any closer to finding the suspect and whether or not they believe the suspect to still potentially be a danger at this point, to your point about not having to shelter in place. So lots of questions that I'm sure the community and people like us hope are answered as well.
Absolutely. And Catherine, I'm hoping if I can be so bold here to get some perspective from you, because as this was playing out, I think as journalists, initially we go to law enforcement sources, right? We want to know what happened. We want to know his condition. And the fact that it was the president of the United States who informed the American people that Charlie Kirk had in fact passed away, that certainly is an unprecedented moment.
It is, and something that at least we were hearing through our sources that the president was being continuously briefed on, in contact with Charlie Kirk's people, spokespeople, aides, top aides. Of course, Trump was getting updates, I'm sure, about his condition from the hospital. And this is somebody who Trump highly respects and who Kirk also highly respected. We've talked a lot about the relationship, Kana, between Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump. And it really is the case that Trump would credit Charlie Kirk with much of his success, especially with the younger vote. For example, you see that statement up there that the president put out. The president wanted to announce this news. We were obviously working hard from our sources to get information about Kirk's condition after we had heard he had been shot. I know a lot of our colleagues were doing the same. Kirk's friends, his family, he was there, of course, in a hospital, I'm sure, receiving treatment. But we do know that Trump himself wanted to announce this, and he did. And he obviously had conversations with law enforcement and with people who are close to Charlie Kirk. And so the president was the one to announce this, and we have not heard from Trump on camera yet. Whether or not, Kana, he'll make some sort of statement is still unclear, but we do know that he wanted to be the one to deliver the news to the American people through his social media account.
And he certainly did. And now he's ordered flags at government buildings across this country, at U.S. embassies abroad, naval vessels in the ocean to be flown at half staff in honor of Charlie Kirk. Catherine Folders, our thanks to you as always. I also want to bring in our ABC News contributor and former NYPD Chief of Detectives, Robert Boyce. And Robert, as we're talking here, you can see in one screen, there's a podium set up. This is set up in Orem, Utah. We're hoping that very soon we will get an update from authorities on this search for a suspect, how this could have happened, any investigative update. But we think we may hear from some government leaders as well throughout the state of Utah and beyond. And so again, that's the podium that you're seeing set up there. We're hoping that that happens momentarily. But in terms of this investigation and this manhunt that is ongoing, where are authorities right now? When you know that there was someone taken into custody, yet we don't have the suspect in custody. There's some confusing messages early on there for the people that were there.
It certainly is, Kana. And the issue is that if there's no threat to the public, is he identified or she identified the shooter? We don't know that right now. And where did the shooter where it was when this happened? You have an individual jumping up and down. I'd surely like to talk to him at some point. But you have these where did this happen? Is it elevated threat, which sounds more likely because someone in the crowd should have saw someone with a gun at that point. So you're looking at the Thomas Crooks mold in Butler, Pennsylvania. He had an AR-15 rifle from 300 feet away. That is able to do the same exact thing. Secrete it in there, get that, use that, and then get out of there. So I'm thinking of that as conjecture on my part, because I'm hoping to know a lot more after this press conference, so we can look at it then and investigate it properly. Exactly what do they know and where are we going with this?
You mentioned that you'd like to talk to the person in that video, sort of jumping up and down here. Tell me your analysis of that.
You have someone hopped up at that point, and it's shots fired. The smart people are on the ground taking cover. You have someone like that jumping around. I would ask, why are you doing that in this type of situation? When man was just shot in the throat.
Okay, I'm hoping that we can re-rack that piece of video there in a moment. And my guess is that you're talking about the man who with longer hair and a backwards hat. And so there's a lot of people on the ground after the shots are fired, and he's sort of on his knees making some kind of motion. You have to imagine that he would certainly be among the many people that authorities would want to talk to, but also everyone has a phone out in that moment. So how does that help authorities track down this suspect?
So you want to give out a centralized number to take the information in from everybody who's going to call, ask people to call who are there. if they have any kind of video, any kind of documentation at all, spraying the crowd with their cameras, anything you can lay your hands on, have a defined number and take those and then get that video and look at it. Because the cell phone creates all kinds of investigative avenues for you. You really want to collect that as best you can, but also fixed cameras in the area. Exactly where can you see, and have a team of people look at those fixed cameras and see if they see anything, any furtive nature by anybody been walking in, a larger bag, something of that nature, something along those lines, and who exits the vehicle. I'm sorry, who exits the structure as fast as anybody. You have outside cameras as well. Collection takes a long time, but we'll see. The fact that they told us that there's no threat, I'm wondering if they don't have someone identified already, and that's what I want to hear today. And additionally, any threats coming into Turning Point USA, that has to be looked at too. Was Mr. Kirk threatened in any way, and was it acted upon? Investigating that. A lot to talk about in the next few minutes.
Yeah, so this is the video I think that you were referencing there. We have this on a loop now of the man in the black shirt with the backwards hat. You're saying that that's someone that you would want to talk to?
Yeah, and you look at it as almost a celebratory act, and that's you need to find him and talk to him and see what's going on in his head right now. And that's one of the things you'll do. Look throughout the crowd, identify people who are acting abnormally, and there's one act right there.
I'm curious as to your thoughts on, I don't know that it was a distraction, but how it plays out when you see there's video circulating of authorities taking someone into custody. And there are sources and witnesses that told people on our investigative team that as that person was being taken into custody, they were saying things like, I would do it again. So when you have something like that happening, but then you hear later, again, they don't have the suspect in custody.
No, so that person, we don't know if he's cleared completely or he's still in custody and still talking to him. So that's, again, one of these things we want to hear about in this press conference. There's a lot it's been a couple hours now. They should have some direction in the investigation of this assassination, because this is a terrible incident and it's frightening for people to think about this. And anybody can secrete a gun and get into a location and cause that kind of damage.
Let's talk a little bit about the overall threat environment. It was also brought up to me by another analyst how challenging these outdoor environments can be. We know that the American people are all too familiar with that after Butler, Pennsylvania. It was a huge topic of conversation for President Trump as he was campaigning, the danger of him being in an outdoor venue like this one. There's just a lot of conversations now about the overall threat environment, especially when you have a lone wolf attacker.
And if we learn one thing, the outdoor venue is a major problem for anybody. And there's an old line that control the door, control the room. If you're in that location, and that's what you really want to have, is something you have to control. When you have something like this, and someone who's at least even considered somewhat controversial in their views, you really have to lock this down. Apparently, his team had the immediate area, his security team, but who else was out there? In Butler, Pennsylvania, you had police and Secret Service agents looking around there, and this individual still did that. That's how the threat environment is an outside location, and maybe we shouldn't be doing this anymore. In an outside spot, it's not a ballpark where people go to see you and enjoy a game. It's something political, and that's how you have to look at that.
Right, and sources telling our Aaron Katersky there was no specific threat to Charlie Kirk that they were aware of at this time. But again, you have to wonder again what political venues will look like in the future of this country. Robert Boyce, thank you for being here with us. I want to bring in our ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang, who's in our Washington D.C. bureau again with more reaction pouring in from people throughout Washington and this country. Selena.
Well, right now we're actually getting reaction from Trump's Secretary of Health and Human Services, RFK Jr. And I just want to read his statement to you. He says the following, quote, "Once again, a bullet has silenced the most eloquent truth teller of an era. My dear friend Charlie Kirk was our country's relentless and courageous crusader for free speech. We pray for Erica and the children. Charlie's already in paradise with the angels. We ask his prayers for a country." Now, notable in that statement, he says, quote, "once again." Now, Kennedy's father was assassinated while running as the Democratic presidential nomination. Of course, his uncle was also assassinated while serving as president. This is a country that for far too long has witnessed these horrific acts of political violence. But as we've been talking about, Kana, this is a moment where you see the nation coming together. You see political leaders coming together to condemn this kind of horrific, gruesome acts of violence. And we've also been discussing how Charlie Kirk is someone who sparked debate. He liked to talk to people who had very different political views from him. And something that he did very well was find these viral moments when he was on campus. Campuses like the one where he was speaking in Utah, students would line up. I know you talked to some of them. They would wait to get in front of Charlie Kirk, ask him their tough questions. He would spar with them on all sorts of issues about the country, about abortion rights, social, political views, everything in between. And he would clip some of the most interesting moments, put them on TikTok, put them on social media where they would get tens of millions of views. And that really became a way for them to actually gain supporters and gain followers from young people into the MAGA movement. President Trump frequently in recent months thanking Charlie Kirk for helping him to win over those critical young Gen Z voters.
He certainly did. And when the president announced his death on his social media account, he said no one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. And you were certainly seeing that play out on this campus. And Selena, it wasn't just university students that were invited there. It was anyone that wanted to come. I spoke with someone who went and her nieces go to school there. And they talked about how a lot of people actually went and took their kids out of school to attend an event like this. And so he certainly was drawing people together in that moment. And as a tribute to Charlie Kirk and in honor of him, Selena, the president calling for the American flag to be flown at half-staff, not just at the White House, but beyond.
Yeah, exactly. Not just at the White House, but the president ordering all American flags throughout the country to be lowered until Sunday evening at 6 p.m. And it's very clear that this is something that has really hurt the president deeply. This is somebody who so many people have considered a friend, political influencers, people on Capitol Hill, people within this administration. And many of them saw Charlie Kirk grow up. We've talked about how he started Turning Point USA when he was 18 years old. He is only 31 years old now. And people put a lot of hope in him that he was going to continue to be a voice of this movement for decades to come. The president, we know from hours before, he had already reshuffled his schedule, that he was getting regular updates from his staff to monitor the condition of Charlie Kirk. And we've been told that he has canceled a planned dinner tonight with cabinet officials, with other outside guests. We've inquired about what this means for the president's schedule tomorrow. But Charlie Kirk is someone whose advice he really valued when it came to political issues, foreign policy issues, but also after the election, Kana, Charlie Kirk was someone who was helping to vet people for top administration positions. The president grateful to Charlie Kirk for helping him win, but also very attuned to his advice. He was known as this sort of youth MAGA whisperer for this administration, Kana.
And Selena Wang, our thanks to you for essentially showcasing us what it's like in Washington, D.C. now, again, as so many people on both sides of the aisle are expressing their condolences for Charlie Kirk and his family as well. I want to bring in our Washington, D.C. Bureau Managing Editor, Catherine Faulders. And Catherine, we know that the president is close to Charlie Kirk, but we also know the president himself sadly can somewhat relate. We're now learning that there's not only condolences from the Secret Service, but that they are also trying to increase protection around the president. And Catherine, after Butler, Pennsylvania, there was all these conversations about the danger of an outdoor venue for politicians.
Right, especially after, as you know, Butler, which is over a year ago now, back in July a year ago, where really everybody was on heightened alert, given that this was an outdoor event in Pennsylvania, that there were obviously counter snipers on the roof at that event. They were able to neutralize that shooter at the time, but that obviously Trump came within an inch of his life in Butler, Pennsylvania. And there were obviously lots of heightened questions around security, around Secret Service at the time. You saw obviously Trump's detail rushing him off the stage there. But in the wake of these outdoor events, Charlie Kirk pictured right there at this outdoor event in this big venue, it seems hundreds of people at that event. But in the wake of what happened to Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, there were lots of additional security measures that were taken across the country, frankly, and with all of these political candidates. Remember, you were seeing the president, Kamala Harris, by the way, who was running against him at the time, where they then put glass surrounding Trump when he would do these outdoor events, when he was then able to do the outdoor events. Remember, he wasn't able to do these outdoor events for quite some time. So these types of venues surely have remained a risk for these types of political events, especially when you have figures such as Charlie Kirk, Donald Trump, any political figure speaking. I was struck, actually, Kana, by that sound that Jay O'Brien was gathering on the Hill from Democratic member of Congress Debbie Dingell, who said when she found out about the fact that Charlie Kirk was shot, she just started to cry. She called for people to turn down the political rhetoric on both sides, she said. Of course, it will be interesting to see how the politics of this all plays out, but surely a horrific and tragic event that has united both sides of the political aisle here. Calls from Democrats and Republicans that this should not happen. This cannot happen in this country. And they've really united behind that. The moment of silence, of course, on Capitol Hill. We've heard from Democratic leaders, Republican leaders. So I'm sure that we will continue to hear from them. I know that we won't, at least in person, hear from the president tonight. We haven't seen him on camera today. He had that event. I know we've been talking about this, but he's had that event, that dinner scheduled for tonight at 7 o'clock over at the White House, where I'm told a bunch of cabinet officials were supposed to be present. He's canceled that. He's getting updates from his team, rolling updates from his team. I'm told the FBI Director Kash Patel was over at the White House earlier today. So obviously that has been postponed. I think it's likely you could hear from the president, at least on camera, tomorrow about this. But this surely is something that he continues to monitor as law enforcement continues to get more information from the ground, from the federal law enforcement presence on the ground. I know that the FBI is surging people in. I could expect at this news are coming up that they will likely say that federal authorities are taking the lead on this, as typically happens here. But still lots of questions that need to be answered for the community, for the people who are attending that event, for Charlie Kirk and his family, that need to be cleared up, including whether or not they do have an update, if you will, on the search for the suspect and whether they have a suspect in pursuit at all.
And Catherine, we know that when there is a call here it's a bipartisan call to end the violence. We know that a lot of that is coming because people are looking at him as a husband and a father as well, not just a political figure. And Catherine, as we're talking here and we're waiting for an update from authorities, we're now hearing from Luke Barr here and from the FBI Director Kash Patel that and this is quoting directly here from Kash Patel, the subject for the horrific shooting today that took the life of Charlie Kirk is now in custody. Thank you to the local and state authorities in Utah for your partnership with the FBI. So, Catherine, as you and I are talking here now, Kash Patel used the word subject in his post. Potentially that word also means suspect here. But again, we're hearing from federal authorities that the suspect who murdered Charlie Kirk is now, in fact, in custody. And so that certainly clears up a bit of confusion there that we were navigating earlier, especially considering the fact that there was no shelter-in-place order for the people of Orem, Utah.
Well, that's exactly right. And I think I'm just looking, Kana, at that press. I believe that the sheriff there actually just put the number 2 up, which I think would be a 2-minute warning. But to your point there, it has cleared that up. We were talking a lot about why would those at the school be told not to shelter in place when there wasn't a suspect in custody? In fact, after it had originally been reported by the school that there was a suspect in custody. So this surely clears it up. They do have a suspect in custody. Of course, I'm just looking at Kash Patel's tweet. I think you're right about the use of the word subject. That would appear that they believe that that person they have in custody would, in fact, be the shooter. Of course, we should wait to hear from federal law enforcement officials who will brief here shortly. Lots of questions, of course, about how they found him, how they found this person, who this person is, what the motive was behind this. That is hopefully something that law enforcement authorities could be able to clear up during this briefing, because we still don't have any answers as to exactly who this person is and what the motive behind this was.
No question. And as Catherine points out, so we're looking at local sheriffs. We're also looking at local police. As Aaron Katersky has pointed out, the Orem Police Department there in Utah is quite small. This is a community, south of Salt Lake. Kash Patel FBI Director Kash Patel saying that they will provide updates when able. But again, certainly hopeful, Catherine, that not only will we get updates from law enforcement here momentarily, this press conference could start any minute, but certainly from government leaders as well in the state.
Yeah, certainly. I assume we could be hearing from the governor, for example, from government leaders in the state. I know that many of them have been in touch with President Trump and with other leaders on Capitol Hill, for example. So perhaps they will reveal some of those communications there. I'm just keeping an eye on the podium. I don't want to talk over the presser. Yes. So